In this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make some donuts using the Bako MOI product. Bako is like all MOI products, it's plant-based, vegan, halal and kosher, but most importantly, it enhances the sweet yeasted products. So bread, sweet buns, donuts, anything like that. We have a variety of different ingredients. We have baker's flour, improver, salt, yeast, instant dry yeast, sugar, skim milk powder, our Bako, and today I'm going to be flavouring it with a bit of orange zest. But interesting enough, I also add corn flour. The reason I'm adding corn flour or corn flour starch of some kind is to reduce that protein in the baker's flour. You're still going to get the strength and stability that the baker's flour provides, but this is going to enhance the Bako by making it a bit more of that softer, fluffier texture. As with majority of doughs, we're going to do a incorporation of the dry ingredients: flour, sugar, salt, skim milk powder. Milk powder is going to enhance the textural experience for your customer, improver, and corn flour. I'm going to delay the yeast because I don't want it to come fully in contact with the salt. On speed 1 first, because we've got a variety of different ingredients, and something like cornstarch or skim milk powder, it's going to blow up. Very quick and easy, simple like that. We're going to add our yeast, bring that together, and then we're going to stream in just water. This water here is just at room temp. The room I'm in at the moment is quite cool, so I'm not going to alter the temperature as much. Depending on your baking environment, please either do a 14 degree, because you want to reach a final dough temperature of 25 to 26 degrees. So we're going to stream this in. You can be quite fast with it. Always remembering when making doughs or any sweet breads of any kind, we could be plussing or minusing the amount of water that goes in. I'm definitely going to be using all of this water. And when we're at the half incorporation stage is when we're going to add the Bako. I'm going to stop that now and add half in first. So once I see about half of it incorporate, I'm going to add the other half in as well. So the beauty of using a product like Bako is that we're going to be extending the shelf life of the product. So we're going to change it up to speed 2 and we get that development process going. So the dough has formed a ball, is now in the developing process. So we're creating that gluten matrix. So you can see here, still quite tacky, and see how it's easily breaking apart, which means we haven't gotten as much development in there that we need. So this is going to take an additional 10, maybe even 15 minutes. We will keep an eye on it, checking the temperature every now and then. At the moment, always best to use a throbe than if you have a gun. A throbe into a dough is actually going to get the core temperature, where a gun is only going to assess the surface temperature. So we're currently at 24 degrees, which is a good start. Just going to give it a quick hit on speed 3. Take it back to speed 2. This just breaks it up a bit more, increase that surface area and take it back to speed 2 for development. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this now. We have a really nice glossy dough. It's elastic. And you've also got to remember, within the resting time of this, that gluten's going to relax. It's going to build its strength. What I'm going to do, instead of mixing my zest into it, I'm going to fold it in. The reason I do this, because you're adding an acid, you don't really want to break down any of the protein or the gluten. So folding, as you would do with fruit sourdoughs or anything else, you fold your nuts or your seeds in. I'm going to fold my zest in. Just kind of break it up a bit. This way I can also test its resistance. Don't want to over pull it at all. And that's going to be now an intermediate proof of at least 10 to 15 minutes. Don't want to overwork it. As you can see, the stretch mark is just happening, so we're just going to give it some relaxation and come back to it later. Our donut dough has now rested for about 15 minutes. As you can see, the yeast is activated. We've got some gas in there. We're now just going to portion it out into 80-gram balls, shape, place onto a tray that I've put just a bit of oil to make it easier to get them off when you're about to fry them. You cannot use oil, but you're gonna have a higher vulnerability of tearing it and making a hole in the bottom. Great, so that's all our portions out, all at 80 grams each. On a clean bench, stainless steel bench with oil, you're gonna be able to get a nice ball shape. And for me, I'm just cupping it into the palm of my hand, using the fingertips to push it back and get a ball like that. So we see here, we just got a little bit up, we're just gonna give that a bit more. Evenly space them, so they're going to grow. So we're just gonna put a light spray on top with the MOI Panola Canola Spray. I've also sprayed it on the parchment paper. This allows me to be able to carefully lift the donut dough off into the fryer without tearing it as much. Just gonna give a light spray on top. This just helps with any oxidation and easier to grab before we put them in the fryer. So the donuts have now come out of the prover within under an hour. We've got a nice ballooning effect. They have retention. So you can tell that they're proved properly when if you just lightly press on it, they bounce back. Our fryer is heated to 190 degrees. I've just put this in the oil and we just place them back in. Depending on how big your fryer is, whether you've got an industrial machine, you'll be able to get through a lot more. I'm just doing it by hand today. So seam side down first. Using Friola Premium is a great substitute than using a regular canola oil. It's less fumigated, it's vegan, halal certified, kosher. It also gives a neutral taste to the donut and there's less residue gum at the bottom of your fries, so cleaning is made a little bit easier. Now we've come to the exciting part of getting to fill our donuts with some beautiful creme patissier that I made this morning that has been replaced with butter rich instead of butter, so we still get that beautiful milky fatty flavour and it's also nice and golden in colour. So we take our donut, just gonna make a little hole in the middle, get our finger into the middle, nice and full. When we come out, just gonna give it a little twist like that. I'm gonna go ahead now and fill all these and I can't wait to try one, Heather.